Hello everyone, I'm Husker Eurocat welcoming you to the San Francisco 49er franchise. Yes, no need to clean out your ears or anything like that. You heard right. Due to massive technical difficulties getting the Cleveland Browns franchise converted to the new Football Freaks mod, interference from updates from micromanagement, Microsoft, that franchise is done and over with. We ended on a good season though. The Browns won the first Super Bowl in franchise history this last season. After a very poor end to their regular season, the Browns were able to sweep the playoffs and make it to the big game in which they played the cream of the NFC, the Seattle Seahawks. In a tight contest, the Browns were able to come out on top 33-30. But that was a different place and time. We have moved across the country to California for the San Francisco 49ers franchise. San Francisco has a glorious past, starting out in 1946 as a startup team in the all-new All-America Football Conference. They joined the NFL in a merger in 1950 and have been a permanent fixture ever since. The Niners have had some really good seasons and some not so good ones. Then came the 80s with names like Walsh, Montana, Rice, Lott, and Clark under the leadership of Bill Walsh. And with Joe Montana at the head of the offense, they were able to win 3 Super Bowls before Walsh handed the team over to his defensive coordinator, George Seifert. And he won a second Super Bowl title that season. Before he was done, he added another Super Bowl ring after the '94 season, pasting the then San Diego Chargers with a 49-26 loss. The Niners have had some up and down seasons since then, not discounting the Harbaugh era when they had their first Super Bowl loss in a battle with the Baltimore Ravens 34-31. Since then, San Francisco has struggled to have successful teams. The past 2 seasons, under 2 different head coaches, have only netted them a 7-25 record and put them at the bottom of the NFC West. Now it's time for the Kyle Shanahan era to begin. There is, to sum it up in just a phrase, a lot of work to do in the land of gold and scarlet. Coach Shanahan will be in search of one of these, which this franchise hasn't won since 1994. Will Kyle Shanahan be the one to lead this team there, or will a new face emerge as the rescuer of this dynasty that's on the rocks? This is a team that Coach Shanahan will be trying to build off of. As you can see, even with the 90-man preseason roster, they have a team rating at an 85, which isn't horrible, but there is a lot of work to do. Starting at the quarterback position, there is a controversy here. Does Coach Shanahan go with the veteran Brian Hoyer, who has experience on his side, or will he go with the youth of rookie C.J. Beathard? Time can only answer that. At halfback, you have the power of Carlos Hyde versus the speed of Niall Davis. Then, I know he's down the rating category a bit, but you also have the speed of Raheem Mostert. At wide receiver, you have the middle-aged veteran Pierre Garçon that isn't the fastest receiver on the squad by far, but has some sure hands. He's supported by some younger talent that needs to be developed, and that's for sure. Tight end should be an interesting battle because you have a rookie that is better than the vets on the roster, and will they be supportive of his contributions or not? The hope is that the influx of talent into that position, it will push the vets to step up their game. Now, here is where it gets a little dicey. In the O-line, you have the stability of Staley, Beatles, and Kilgore. Vets, but not at the elite level, and the rest of the line inexperienced and not strong either. The offense might not be real good this season just because of the lack of strength, not only with the starting crew for the line, but a very weak depth chart may prove to be a challenge as the season progresses. Now, switching gears to the defensive line of the equation. The D-line is probably the strongest aspect of this roster, with Lynch, Armstead, Carradine, and the rookie Solomon Thomas leading the way. And that's a good thing, because with weaknesses on the part of the rest of the team, the 49ers will be counting on a big season from the defensive line. The linebacking crew has a lot of good talent on it that can definitely play at the next level, with Hodges, Harold, Bowman, and the rookie out of Alabama, Reuben Foster, leading that crew. The nice thing as well is the depth at that position to work with. Now, the cornerback position is arguably the weakest on the defense. The only thing going for them is that they have experience on their side. That leaves the door wide open for young talent to make this roster if they can improve fast enough. Speed doesn't seem to be the issue with this crew, but awareness and strength may present an issue. The safeties are a fairly young bunch of players, with Duke Iheanacho being the old man of the bunch, and he's only 28. Plenty of depth at this position, but even more talent is behind waiting for their chance. Rounding out the roster is laser-accurate kicker Robbie Gould and third-year punter out of Clemson Bradley Pinion. Add in a bunch of rookies and undrafted free agents, and you have your 90-man preseason roster. Now, to get a good eye for some of the talent on this squad, let's take a look at some practice footage. First up, we're featuring the first string, and that encompasses Brian Hoyer, the veteran quarterback, and he's been in the league for now 8 seasons, and he never really has materialized into the most elite quarterback in the league. And that's for really 2 reasons that I can think of. And that is his lack of speed, so his mobility is an issue, and also his accuracy is not the best. Here's a play from Carlos Hyde. It's trick play to Selleck, and he is going to score a touchdown. Third string tight end, Garrett Selleck. He's been in the league now for 5 years and hasn't materialized into one of the greats, probably because of his blocking isn't the best in the world. Hoyer back to pass, completes one to Carlos Hyde. Hyde now has been in the league for, 3 years? And he hasn't become a wonderful back, but he is strong. And he can really make a difference up the middle. It's just, I don't know whether or not San Francisco is going to have a good enough offensive line to make that possible or not. The lack of speed around the side is really what's going to get him in trouble. And now we get to see the rookie out of Iowa, C.J. Beathard, at quarterback, and he is what San Francisco is really laying their hopes upon this season. And now we have Knile Davis, the speedy back out of Arkansas, going for a touchdown down the right side. Beathard completes one to Taylor, and Taylor is a good receiver, although he misses some of his catches, so maybe that is suspect on his part. Now, Beathard as a quarterback, his accuracy is probably what's going to give him the most problems this season. Knile Davis up the middle for a nice gain. Through the course of this preseason, though, it's going to be nice. There's a nice reception by Kittle, and that is what I'm looking for this season. The tight end George Kittle and Beathard are both rookies out of the University of Iowa, so they have spent some time working together, and they really know each other's ins and outs as far as on the field gameplay is concerned. And here's another completion to Trent Taylor. He is a rookie that is going to have some problems. I don't know. He certainly doesn't have the speed to be a wideout, but in the middle, he seems to have a little bit of problem being big enough. I'm just afraid that if he gets put in the middle, he's not at 5'8". He's not going to have the size that he needs, and he might get banged around quite a bit in the middle and not be able to make the receptions that he needs to make. We just saw Niall Davis catching one out of the backfield around the left side for a good gain, and that's where something that he might have to be developed in that area, because he isn't the best at catching out of the backfield right now. He has the speed once he gets it in his hands, but getting it in his hands is going to be the issue. And here is why I like Kyle Juszczyk. You see that block that he laid? Wow. Allowing Niall Davis to make a nice gain over the left side. And here Beathard, known as a pocket passer, gets out of the pocket, showing a little bit of mobility and getting it to Josh Huff. Now, Josh Huff is one that hasn't really gotten to the top level of his game. He's on this roster as a return specialist, but he only has 91 speed. And there's George Kittle with another touchdown. The rookie is going to be a sensation, I think. Back to Josh Huff. He is a return specialist, but I don't know if he's going to remain that. Time will tell. He just doesn't seem like he's fast enough, and there are others on the team with more speed than he has. Now we get to take a look at the third string with Matt Barkley out of USC at the control, and ooh, he gets nailed in the backfield. Eric Armstead takes him down, and he's battling for that spot at left end. Right now he's third string, but that may change. Back to Barkley. He has just never materialized. Now in his, fifth season here in the NFL, and just hasn't materialized into what they want him to be, or probably what he wants to be. And I fear because of his lack of arm strength, speed, accuracy, he may be always a backup or possibly even a practice squad player. And here's a nice run up the middle by Raheem Mostert. Now, you'll remember him from my Cleveland Browns franchise, and he developed into the starting halfback on that team. But here he is the third string halfback, and we'll see if he can develop into a greater halfback, because he has the speed to get around the side. I just don't know whether or not the power is going to be there. And there is a nice touchdown reception to Aldrick Robinson. Now, he's the third string wide receiver right now, and he's been in the league for this is his 7th season in the league now. And although he has sufficient speed at a 92 overall, he just doesn't have the strength and the awareness that we're looking for. And with 6 seasons under his belt, he's probably going to be about as good as he's going to get, unless we can do some really, really good development with him. There's Mostert around the left side for a nice gain. Like I said, the speed is there. It just depends on whether or not we're going to be able to develop any kind of strength in his running ability or not. And now we get to see undrafted free agent Tariq Adams at quarterback. Now, between he and Zach Thomas, the quarterback you'll see upcoming in just a bit, at least one or maybe both would present a really good challenge for this coaching staff. Because Tariq Adams has the edge on arm strength, but then Zach Thomas has the edge on accuracy. So we don't know what we'll see. And there is Tayshawn Jones, the undrafted free agent out of Northwestern State University. Now, he has the speed to be a really great back. I don't know whether or not he has the stamina and the strength that he needs, but he has been getting a lot of looks, and he has a lot of activity here in training camp. And did you see a couple of plays ago the strength of Tariq Adams helping him avoid that sack, but it sure would have been nice if he could have completed that pass. Tayshawn Jones getting another run around the right side, and just a play ago we saw him score a touchdown. And that's Eric Armstead popping the ball out of Tariq Adams' hands, and he is one to watch in this training camp because he might be moving up the depth chart. Here's Xavier Cooper with a sack on Adams. Right now, he's the third string defensive tackle, but who knows after this preseason is over. Tayshawn Jones going up the middle for a nice gain. And Adams throwing a touchdown pass to Taylor. And that is what we're looking for to get started in preseason. Another sack on Adams, and this time by Tiki Hansen, the undrafted free agent. He's trying to make this roster as a defensive end, but I don't know. He has an awful lot of talent in front of him. And there's Tayshawn Jones sprinting out on the right side for a touchdown. And here Adams back to pass and gets the ball stripped, but he does have the presence of mind to pick it up and makes a decent gain out of it. Here again is Tayshawn Jones around the right side. Adams looking downfield, throws complete to tight end Logan Paulson. Now, he is one that has really impressed in this training camp. He is in the NFL now for his 8th season, and he's an excellent tight end, and he might be used as a fullback tight end as well. And there's a sack on Zach Thomas by Tiki Hansen. Undrafted free agent gets to undrafted free agent. As I said earlier, Zach Thomas has the accuracy on Tariq Adams, but I don't know about the arm strength, and that is going to get proved here in the preseason as well. Matt Breida is the last halfback on the roster, but he is going to... Did you see that nice strip by Brock Coyle? He's been making some impressive gains here in training camp as well. Now, back to Breida. He had the benefit of being drafted by this team, but he is awfully slow. Matter of fact, the slowest halfback on the squad, and I just don't know whether he's going to be able to make this team or not. He has shades of greatness, but his overall performance just seems to be lacking a little bit. You'll see evidence of that here on this next play. Thomas gets the ball to him in the backfield, and he does a little move in the backfield and gets some good yardage, but he just doesn't seem to get that all the time the way he needs to. And Rashard Robinson makes a good stop coming up from his cornerback position. As you can see, I've been focusing and doing a lot of commentary on the offensive performance in this practice session. There's Paulson making another good catch over the right side. And back to my commenting on the performance of the offense, I think that's where the biggest gain is going to be had in the offensive line, because it's nowhere it needs to be at this time. Going into this season, it's really going to be a challenge for whoever makes that first string quarterback, because I have a feeling they're either going to learn how to get rid of the ball or they're going to get sacked a lot. Because I don't think anywhere on our roster do we have the speed at quarterback to make some plays happen out of the backfield like Deshaun Watson or somebody like that, or a Dak Prescott. It just isn't there yet. And there I told you that Brock Coyle is doing some impressing in this training camp, making an interception on that last play. Zach Thomas heaves one long, and Lester Jordan makes the catch in the end zone. The undrafted free agent rookie is making a bid for staying on this roster. Thomas doesn't like what he sees, so he shows off what little speed that he has. He's not the fastest quarterback on this roster, but he's close and he has it when he needs it. Now, using this team here in training camp and probably through the preseason, it's becoming apparent that what I'm going to have to do is really learn how to use my short game in order to make things happen, because they just don't have the speed, and nor do they have the arm strength and accuracy to make the long passes like we had out of Matt Stafford in the Cleveland Browns franchise. And there is a touchdown pass all alone to Lester Jordan. There's a look at the team that we'll be going into the preseason with, and these are the teams that we'll be facing in the preseason. The Niners will be home for the Broncos and Chargers, and at Kansas City and Minnesota. Yeah, I know it would have been nice to play at StubHub Center, but we get to go play at US Bank Stadium. Hey, when is the last time that I played at that stadium? Oh yeah, it was the Super Bowl with the Browns. Hopefully it'll go the same way this time around, but then again, it's preseason, and measuring the talents comes before a win in that preseason. Please keep in mind that if you enjoyed this video, leave a like so that others can enjoy it as well. And if you would like to be notified when there is a new one, subscribe by clicking on my icon at the end of the video. I can't wait to start bringing you coverage of the San Francisco franchise. I know that it's been a while since my last video, and for that I apologize. I wish that I could foresee Microsoft doing stupid updates, but alas, I can't. All should be good now, and hopefully we won't be having any issues like that. I'm going to try to cram all 4 preseason games into one video, so be on the lookout for that. It may take just a bit. Editing 4 games takes a little longer than 1. We start out with our game at Kansas City, so until I see you again in Arrowhead Stadium, this is Husker Eurocat saying so long for now, and have a good day, everyone.